sleep, and I've tried my best to keep the broken parts of me intact, to find each other when you laugh. I know that I'll be okay, that I can last another day, 'cause I find peace hearing you speak. All your words are poetry. I just wanna hold you now. Nothing can bring me down, because all I can do is let myself fall into you. I am struggling to see the good you see in me, and everything is wrong, it's true, everything except for you. Tell me all your favorite things. You know that I love listening. I'm content when we're alone. Being with you feels like home. I wish I knew which words to say, but man, this happiness is strange. I'm holding on to every breath as I count the moments I have left. I just wanna hold you now. Nothing can bring me down, because all I can do is let myself fall into you. I am struggling to see the good you see in me, and everything is wrong, it's true, everything except for you.
Did you write that?
Did I write it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Thanks.
Dope. I think you got a really cool voice. I think you know what you want. As an artist, I think you know what you want. I think, when you listen to beats, I think you know what you want to hear. I think, not even think. I know that you're in the right direction. I think it's a great record.
So this is another case of hoping that we had like lyrics or get to hear it again, because I want to hear more, but I'm trying to sort of discern it felt like there was a couple of different things going back and forth in terms of the subject matter. I mean, I felt like I knew where you were going, but then you sort of took me a little bit over here, and then you brought me back, but I wasn't, again, if I hear it again, but barring all of that, you have a great voice, and it's a well-managed song, well-structured song, and the playing is very appropriate for what it feels like the subject matter is. So, very nice.
I would agree with that, and we were just talking about diction and pronunciation. That wasn't an issue with your song. You could tell what you were saying right away. Partly it's because it was just your voice and the piano doing it, so the arrangement lended itself, but it was really easy to discern what's happening. Great hooks. The harmony in the second verse was really nice. As far as the critique goes, I found it maybe, if I were producing this track, I'd say in the chorus, maybe at the end of each long phrase, really beautiful melody, maybe drop a couple of the syllables, maybe an it or an and or a the, might just swallow that and take a breath and get ready for the beginning of the next phrase. It was just a touch. I mean, that's kind of where pop music is right now. Lots and lots of lyrics going on, and it kind of comes and goes. But that would be something to maybe look at, and something in the studio. That's the kind of thing that I'd be addressing. Can we make this a little more direct?
I love the top line melodies. I thought they were really pretty. The chords were real pretty. It kind of reminded me of like The Climb. That's what it sounded, And so that was awesome. The production, like the drums were really bothering me. Production altogether. I mean, I get it, like for like a skeleton track, but other than that, like I feel like that's where it needs the most work. But really, the melodies were really pretty. I enjoyed it.
Did you write that by yourself and produce that, or?
I wrote it and I produced it.
I really enjoyed that song. I mean, as simple, just from the broadest perspective. First time I would hear that song, I'd want to go back to that and listen again, and possibly even hear another song. So take that for what it is. That's definitely what we all look for when we were talking about before. So
So I really like the melodies, very pleasing to the ears, but I don't remember any of what you were saying, and it didn't feel original. Like I was telling Eden, it's like I listen to so much stuff like that, and the guy's Keen or whatever, but it's like Christina Perry's 1,000 Years or something like that. The song, I feel like it's just been done before, and you can do that over and over, whatever you want to do, but I feel like you finding your own voice in your lyrics is going to be the challenge. It's a challenge for everybody, but I think that's what you're going to do to keep people interested and keep people who do listen to so much music all the time interested. But as a general fan, I thought it was a really beautiful sounding song, and you should be proud of that.
Thank you so much.
Paige, stick around, because I have a question for you about the production of that song afterwards, but I don't want to take time for it right now. All right, you guys ready?
You said I'm sorry, you said I want you back. But I'm no carousel, I can't deal with the lack of her when I want it, her when I need it. She just loves me when it's most convenient. I send my love home from New York City. I sing our songs to you. You're breaking my heart and complicated all the things that make this
Yeah, I would love to hear more of that record. The payoffs, you guys' payoffs are really, really, really big. I like the hook. That should be big. Like that's stadium. So I'd love to see you guys perform this song live. So I think it's okay.
Yeah, I agree. What I think I liked was immediately I was drawn in, and that OLO stuff should have come back in earlier, because that would have continued to draw me in. And the sort of dichotomy between that serenity and a little bit of the biting lyric snarl was kind of a nice balance, but you lost me right after that. And it felt like it was starting to drag until we got back to the OOOs. I wonder what that'll be like over the long course of listening. But I think all of the elements are there. I just think you might want to rearrange some of it. Yeah.
I thought it sounds kick-ass, and I love that guitar riff, and everything about that is great, and the vocal melody as well. I listen to everything from a record producer's standpoint, and I'm thinking immediately BPM. It's too slow. It's just I mean, I'd pick that thing up 10 BPM minimum. That'd be my suggestion. I think that has something to do with the draggy quality when you get to the whoa of the refrain. That whoa is your monster hook, and you should never, ever, sleep on hooks. We need to hear them all the time, whether it's a guitar part or a drum thing or beat. Constantly hand off that melodic thing. We're stupid up here. We need to be entertained constantly. So I bring that tempo up, but I'm not knocking it. It was kick-ass. That's something that I'd be happy to work on. and maybe a variance on the chord progression during the chorus. It's the same chord progression of the verse. You do change it like third time through, but maybe the second and third chord. That's it. I'll leave it.
Really quick, I agree. Make the whole song a hook. You know what I'm saying? You already got the payoff.
Yeah, don't be afraid of hooks. Never be afraid of hooks, especially when they're really good.
The verses, make them short, you know what I'm saying? Beef up the production a little bit, but then that payoff, crazy.
What was I gonna say? No, that's okay. I really liked the song too. It was great. There were some arrangement issues, like the transition from the A section to the B section of the hook. It just came immediately. I didn't feel it coming. But I think the biggest thing is tempo. I gotta second what you're saying. It's a little slow, and it made it drag. And it's like, well, shit, why is this dragging? Like, I like this. And I think that's it right there. I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I think I agree too. I mean, it was a great song. Make everything have a bigger punch maybe to captivate people. And I think maybe you could get into the song a little quicker. I don't know if that would happen, speeding it up, but it definitely was like, all right, we're going, this is cool, but I want to get there a little quicker. But overall, it was a good song.
Yeah, and I personally like bands like this. It's the bands that I grew up on and playing in and whatnot. But the dynamics are so important with a song like that, and with a moment like the Woes, it just kind of like felt, it didn't feel like as big of a moment as it could have been, because maybe the verses didn't have, you could have stood with like less is more approach there, and then really built up to that. But other than that, it was.
I was gonna say, one of the things we always say, even in the studio, is what would John Bon Jovi do? Like I don't work on anything that ever sounded like that, but it's a constant refrain. What would he do? He'd just get out the giant whale hooks and grab you with a giant whoa. I mean, he's great at that.
Big hooks, big hooks. Who's the band? Western Sons.
When you guys get that song right, like when you get it structured right and perfected, do a live performance video.
Yeah, we played quicker live.
Yeah, because I could tell like when you guys play live, it's like, oh my God. So,
Yeah, good job, guys.
Okay, you ready? Let's go through it one more time. 2, 3, 4.
His heart could not be colder, so sister, think it over before you waste your time with the boy I left behind. You better run. Yeah, I know you don't like me, but I think that you should hear me out. 'Cause I heard that you're his new wifey, and I'm probably stepping out of bounds. But girl, he is dangerous, nothing but scandalous. I thought that you should know. He'll tear your life apart, walk all over your heart before he lets you go. I bet he's promised you forever. He says he's never gonna leave your side, right? And it's cool when you're together, but he doesn't call you back at night. Why? 'Cause girl, he's just using you, making a fool of you. He cannot be alone. He swear he'll be different, but just pay attention, 'cause pretty soon he'll show that he's nothing but a hoe. So you better run, girl. You better run. Please don't run. The right thing is right. 'Cause this ain't the way it has to be. That boy is a catastrophe. So run, girl. You better run before it's too late.
That was fun.
I'll go first.
go ahead. You
No,
start it.
let's
Let's start.
Let's try it. So,
I really like the way that kick drum and bass. Push back.
That was
So, yeah, awesome personality in the music. I get it, more of an identity from you than anything that I've heard so far. Like anything that I'm talking about is like that. But what I didn't like about it, did not feel like there was a hook in there that really grabbed me. And then you lost me like through the song. I was just kind of like hooked at the beginning of it. That, I mean, if there was a hook, it's that, just how interesting it is. But lyrically, I want to remember what you're saying and what the vibe is, so I'm going home and humming the whole thing. It was started getting a little muddy through the thing, but otherwise, awesome. Very entertaining.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. It definitely had a great vibe and it was fun. I think everybody was kind of dancing in here. I saw the guys up there doing the little, there you go. But it's like Chris said, the hook, it was kind of waiting for it, and I think with a strong hook that'll even captivate people even more, because people are definitely into that. And we were talking about before the message of the song, you want people humming that, you want people remembering and humming that, you know, or saying those words. So.
Okay, that was I love your personality. I love where you're going. Did you write that? I'm asking again. Did you write that by yourself? I would recommend collaborating with someone because maybe that's where the hooks can come from. But you have a really awesome personality as an artist, and that was really refreshing. It was fun. Something it started, and I was like, okay, like I'm gonna like this song right off the bat. It was really cool. Whatever you're doing is working. But I would cross-pollinate. Are you from Orlando?
No, I'm in South Florida.
So you're in South Florida? Well, if you ever are up this way, I would love to get you in the studio with some of our creators and just see what happens, because you've got something really cool going on. That was fun. Thank you for sharing that.
I thought it was great. Lots of surprises. I think we were all up here kind of going, what's going on? You know, the stops and starts, injecting a lot of personality. That's great. It helps to set yourself apart immediately. So within 10 seconds. But again, from a critique standpoint, that chorus, when we finally got to it, that was a real payoff, but you made us wait a long time to get there. Maybe half that verse could have dropped out, I thought. And there's all these great harmonies up front. Where are the harmonies going with that melody on the chorus? I mean, I thought we were hearing a girl group up front with these tight harmonies. We were so impressive. And then I was waiting for it to come back. Again, we're only hearing a little bit. Maybe they can come back later, but I would have brought them in right at the top of that chorus. Let us know. Hit us with a hammer. Here's the chorus. This is what you pay attention to. But it was excellent.
Yeah, same sort of thing here. Great song. You have a wonderful voice. It was great advice. Great comment. It seemed absent of a hook, and the hook's got to come in real early, and they got to come in real often. That's the one thing that I'm kind of seeing as a trend is there's not as many obvious immediate hooks, and I think you want that. I know that sounds commercial and it sounds terrible to the artist in you, but don't you want attention? You got to get people you got to grab their attention. So really, really quality stuff that needs a hook.
I agree with everybody else. I think your structure is your biggest problem for that record. I feel like there's so much going on. I don't know what's the verse. I don't know what's the hook. I don't even know if there's a pre-hook. But you have a payoff in there that says this is a hit. I think even from the beat, who did the production?
My producer.
Yeah. So I think the production is very experimental. You know what I'm saying? But I think you have a very strong voice, and you could give that a little bit more. Yeah.
It might be cool to even start the song with the hook. I mean, all about that bass started with a hook. And it's got a similar type of vibe, so you catch people right away and it's game over.
So that's where the song's not a hit yet, in my opinion, but I think you're a hit. I think you're onto something. I think you're really talented.
What's your name?
Amber. Sorry.
What is it?
Amber.
Amber. Okay, cool. Let's give it up. Before we move on, I gotta ask, do you know what time the first band goes on here? 6. How much time do we need for change out? 45 minutes? Because we started so late and I want to give them their money's worth. Can we run till 5:15? Are you guys cool with that if we do it? Can we do that? Okay, we got 18 more minutes to see what we can cram in there, okay? You guys good with that? All right.
I hear hand grenades and bullets flying. My heart, I can feel it slowly dying. Oh, can you hear the mountains crying? Do you wanna hear, Tonight, what's the point in even trying? My heart loves you when there's no denying. Oh, can you hear the mountains crying? Do you wanna hear, Do you wanna hear, do you wanna hear, do you wanna hear, Sunrise, moon is out, but night is falling. You know, hoping I can call you darling. Oh, can you hear the mountain calling? Do you wanna hear, 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 Hanging around, hold me down. It's alright. Do you wanna hear,
What's the name of your band?
Bimo.
Bimo, I thought so. I saw you guys here last night.
No, I see you. Guys, I gotta say, I think it's a great song. I've seen you perform live. You're amazing. What happened in that recording? I'm not just saying this because I want you to record a plush, but
But he does.
I've seen you live and you're amazing, and that doesn't do you justice. But that was catchy. I'm gonna toss it over to Chris now.
We're just gonna throw it over. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like something that I'd like live. And an important thing to preface all of this advice, we're all going to talk about it kind of from whatever standpoint we're at. I work at a major record label. I can only work with, certain acts that are either going to appeal to a very mass audience or be a band like Ed Sheeran, or be a band that draws in the artists that are, really well respected in their craft, like Sturgill Simpson on our label. And in your case, I like the vibe of it. It's something that I wouldn't walk away from if I was watching it live. I don't feel like there's a song in there. I was bored by it, but it's pleasing and it's something I would turn on if I was on a road trip. And if that is your goal, then I think you achieved it.
I definitely would like to see it live. Being a publisher, a lot of bands similar to you guys, you kind of need like a radio song for us to really have a better, provide a better service for you guys and really help expose your music. It definitely got better. The harmonies were great, and he was saying you should see him live. This is not doing it justice. So now I'm intrigued to see it live. Definitely, maybe record it live. So.
No, it's exactly what I was going to say. The same thing. How did you record it? I mean, you didn't record it live. Yeah, I think that you may want to just try that because there's some gritty dirt that's missing that I bet seeing you live I get the feeling of, and there's just the impact would be greater. I would always suggest trying it anyway, and seeing what the results are.
Once again, I agree with these guys. I think for me, let the progression of the production build. So I think it's more a production issue. It's not even about what you guys are saying. You know, I can tell that you guys are really dope live, and I feel like I need to get that when I hear your music. You know, but definitely, the production should have definitely progressed a little bit as the song went by.
I would agree with that. I think that it's a mixed thing. Things sounded good, but maybe just at the wrong levels. And I really liked the meter change at the end of each verse. That was really cool. I had trouble discerning some of the percussion stuff, and again, that might be this system, but it's probably also a mixed thing, which can be fixed. I don't think structurally there's anything wrong with that song. I was digging it. And so far, I mean, I've liked everything that we've heard.
It's good.
It's been great, you guys.
We had
Things happening now.
We had a discussion on the producer panel yesterday about recording live, and it's been mentioned here. I mean, you think that's something that would benefit an artist like that, as far as?
I think my guy right here said it best. Like, it's missing that. You know what I'm saying?
Missing the glue.
Rock out. Go in the studio and rock out, man. You know what I'm saying? It should feel live. Because if you guys are great on stage, I should feel that through the music. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you guys played the wrong song in here, but on stage, that same song would sound different live. You know.
Thanks, guys.
Emo. Yeah.
And miracles I can see in your eyes. You're not free at all. Settle down. You've heard her latest sound. She's not coming round so easy. I know she's tired of being sick and hurt. Whispers on what she deserves. 'Cause maybe in nature is beautiful. When you look at yourself, boy, you can tell. Do you believe in miracles? I can see in your eyes. You're not real. Change the way you feel yourself. 'Cause you're my miracle, yeah. You're my miracle. Jesus, I see you hurt the most, yeah. You're hurting no more, I'm sure. You'll be just
Are you an artist or you a songwriter? Both. My honest opinion, it's a lot of guys in there that you should probably collab with. Because I feel like your writing is really good. Not quite sure about the production, but I feel like you could really collab with a lot of guys in there. Like your top line is really, really good. Yeah.
There's a lot of really interesting textures going on, and then tempo-wise, when you got to, I guess that main hook, I would have loved to have heard you kick it into a higher octave. I think that would have like sold me hard on it. I felt like there was so much momentum building up with the guitars leading up to that, and then it was like, and then I'm back here again. And like, I would love to just hear you wailing and nailing. That would have been really cool. But otherwise, it was very, very interesting.
I think it sounds like a great song, and my comments would be just arrangement-wise, and a bit about the drum beat threw me off halfway through the first verse, and we ended it at the beginning of the second verse, same kind of thing. I found it kind of jarring. I have to be sold on that one. It was taking me out of the moment, at least for this initial listen. And if what you're trying to do is grab people, dudes like us, that kind of a curveball might make the difference between getting all the way through the song or not. I love your voice and the melodies are there. That's it. I think the tune is rock solid. So.
Yeah, I think what Mr. Steele was saying about the hook, I think was a good suggestion. It didn't come to me until he said it, but Also, but I think I've told you this before. I think you're really talented, and I think maybe Jamal hit it on the head. Is that you need to get out there and start cross-pollinating, man, because it's just still so generic. And I feel like you do it really well, and you need to get with other people who do other things really well, so you can start building something that's unique. And every time I hear your music, it still sounds the same. It's really good at what it is, but I feel like you haven't found that spark that's going to make you stand apart from everyone that's in that lane. And I think you need to do it by collaborating with more people who aren't in your lane. And I'm just saying it again.
Yeah, just to hit on that, you want to challenge yourself in terms of writing, which is what will happen when you collaborate. But when you started that song, I thought it was going one way, and then all the music came in. I would be curious to hear it just stripped down, like you and a piano, and then you belting it out, which some of the guys said. It would totally change the song, and I'm not sure if you're that type of artist, but I think you can be that type of artist.
Yeah, I like this song, and I would echo kind of what a lot of the guys up here are saying, but push yourself vocally. You have this opportunity to make music, and then you have a responsibility to the people here to make something great and be great. And I think you have that potential, but you got to push yourself, and that starts, in the studio and in your writing process. So, and I know that can be hard sometimes when you're, it can be almost a cold environment when you're singing to just a microphone with no audience. But you got to feel it and make me feel it. You know what I mean? And I think you can do it. You just got to push yourself.
Ryan McKenzie, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's give it up. All right. We got time for maybe two more. Before we go on, I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you actually went out and listened to other bands last night? All right, good. You guys, yeah, all right. That's good because, if you just play your set and then you leave, you're not getting the full benefit because you can learn a lot from the other bands that you hear out there. And you never know what you're going to stumble across. And I want to give a shout out right now to a band they're not in the playlist, so we're not going to hear them. But I walked onto Wall Street last night and I heard this band playing, and I'm not taking anything away from anybody here because I've heard some amazing music. But this band called the Stepping Stones. Are you guys hear it? You guys see it? You guys see that? Blew me away. And Hannah, I listened to your voice and I was captivated, and I heard you play guitar and my jaw hit the floor. Everybody around me had the same reaction. It's as if Slash and Stevie Ray Vaughan had a love child, and then that love child had a love child with Janis Joplin. And if you get a chance to hear them play live or listen to them, I highly recommend you do it. So, here's you guys. Yep, let's roll.
Lately, I've been thinking about how you drive me crazy. Everything you say, double talk, baby. But baby, let me tell ya, I ain't playing no more. I'm ready to go big, I'm ready to make a score. I'm taking out all my weapons, I'm ready to blow. Got my guitar, got my mic, and I'm ready to show. I'm selling out concerts, telling all the people, hands up, 'cause you only see me at the Staples. I don't wanna feel like you don't actually care, but thinking about the shit you probably say when I ain't there. I hope you realize that people always looking game, but you were different, but it seems like you're just the same.
Can I ask a question? Was that you on the verses and the hook? Okay. The verses are way too long, one, and if that is you on the hook, why aren't you singing the whole song?
I mean, I like the changing of pace, the versatility of what you're doing. Personally, my whole thing was your voice was fighting with the production the whole time, and it's cool. So let people hear that, you know.
I think I would shorten the raps. I like the contrast, but I would give your singing more shine.
Yeah, I think it might be just a mixing thing, just making your voice more prominent from the production, because it's really cool, but it kind of overshadows and gets a little lost. But it was definitely cool.
I think the same. It's the rap lyrical aspect just was twice as long as it needed to be. Again, man, bring the hooks. Bring them early. Bring them often.
We want hooks.
We love hooks.
You can't go wrong with hooks early and often.
The fact that you're singing and rapping, and it's not, two artists doing that, that's pretty unique. So I agree with everything that's being said. Maybe strip down those verses. So, the beat's great, but maybe, drop some of those synths out. Just let it get more sparse and make it more obvious that there's singing to come, not just on the chorus. I mean, there's a bit of it, but I'd say go further with it, because those are your two strongest suits right there.
Let the voice breathe on the track.
Cool.
Thank you.
Does anybody know where the industry party is? Plaza, that's right, okay.
Wherever you are.
All right, it's at the Plaza. I just want to make sure I know where we're going after this. The stage manager and production crew are probably going to murder me, but let's squeeze one more in. Okay? I just said you were going to kill me. One more.
Yo, ain't this that real 1202 shit? Ain't this that Georgetown Royal Blue shit? Ain't this that carry out after school shit? Getting locked by the fence, but we ain't even do shit. Yeah, I know what they say, but they think what they want. I get Washington made, you're right up in the pool, but I get Maryland raised. Lay over my home, no face was a fake, no Sierra Leone. It was only got a pay no fee. Niggas said they don't like it till they drop the key. I'm just trying to be somebody people pay to see. I'm sitting down into the O, they started hating me. Oh, the agony, y'all do what they take. I got what I want, I pull up a drink. I get in my zone, reminiscing the days. Back on Addison Road, I was stuck with trade. That's when the streets was my home. See, this that 301, 202 shit. Ain't this that 301, 202 shit. This for my day ones that I grew with. Even though I'm on the floor, sticking to the blueprint. Oh Lord, this that 301, 202 shit. Ain't this that 301, 202 shit. This for my day ones that I grew with. Even though I'm on the floor, sticking to the blueprint. See, one time for my motherfuckers.
Whose song was that?
Who is the artist? Oh, next song. Oh,
Next one.
go ahead. Go ahead, the artist isn't here.
Can we do one more song?
You was about to speak for him? Oh, so the artist isn't here?
So then we should do one more song then, why are you?
Next song.
I predict a song that they're not.
She's going to murder me if I do one more.
I mean, we heard that song and can't speak on it because the artist isn't here. I mean, I think we should just play one more.
You guys gonna have to talk fast.
Enough. If there's life and life is dead.
Man, that's a little of everything.
The horns.
Who's the artist? Yeah.
Either way, the horn section of that's the hook. Should have happened sooner, then happened again. And I'm a big fan of Rory, and that production that Day Trip is doing in Brooklyn is dope. I think it could be a better song, but that horn thing is the hook.
It was really, really cool. It was a lot of stuff. It was like Simon Garfunkel meets the Lumineers, and then Billy Corgan and Gogol Bordello show up, and there's a little bit of Primus, and it's really, really interesting. There's tons of really interesting things going on there, so really cool.
Who's the artist?
Yes. Where's the artist?
They're not here, but everybody can.
You don't put your music in the
Stand
box.
learn something from it.
It's my song.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
The artist is Andre from.
Maybe you want to meet my friends at a barn and get drunk.
We're all heading to the plaza for that.
Plaza.
There's a lot going on. It was all cool, but I kind of had trouble following it because I kept getting, where is this going?
Again, first couple songs we talked about diction and clarity. I didn't know what was being said. I really wanted to hear that. And again, that might be the system, it might be the situation or a mix. But if what you're trying to do is put your best foot forward, man, you know, you can compare your tracks to your peers. People are already got stuff out there, and if it's not ready, it's not ready. I love that trombone. When do you hear a trombone play a hook like that? And again, you know, let's hear that up front. Arrangement ideas, not so much song not being great or a vocal. I couldn't tell what was being said though.
All right, I think we got to wrap it up. But before we go, we want to give you a big round of applause for having the balls to come out here and subject yourself to this, throw your stuff in the hat and do it. Kudos to you. The industry party is at Casa, corner of Orange and Church, Casa. That's where we're all going from here, right? All right, let's give it up for our panel. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your patience. Everybody have a wonderful rest of FMF tonight. Thank you so much.